And then all of a sudden, here comes this thing out of the cannabis plant, the CBD oil and the CBD, right? And this is actually so big in America that it's actually gotten to normal people.
We are in Amsterdam, so I'm sure you're aware of all the coffee shops and cannabis that we have here. What is your view on that?
I'm super stoked that everything's legal here, or at least better, more legal than North America. And I think the cannabis plant's really amazing. Now, the thing, I'm going to give you guys a real funny little story. My mom, all the judgment over all the years, right? Like, I can't believe Michael Phelps smokes dope. I can't believe he's taking bong hit, David. This is David. He's a moron. You know, and it just goes on and on and on for hours, you know, and I'm just listening to my mom just, you know, like the judgment, right? And it's really coming from that generation. And then all of a sudden, here comes this thing out of the cannabis plant, the CBD oil and the CBD, right? And this is actually so big in America that it's actually gotten to normal people, where people who have problems, for example, one of the ladies who works for me, her daughter has epilepsy. And if she takes the CBD oil, she doesn't have it. It goes away. All the symptoms go away. Not even any change in her diet. And I just thought, this is such a character of the plant that it has just taken all that judgment and absorbed all that BS and all the police crap and all this other stuff. And then here it delivers the most fantastic medicine, the most neuroprotective medicine of all time. And you know, that to me is the essence of what cannabis is. It's a miracle.
Often when we speak to nutritionists, we ask their opinion about cannabis, and many people think that cannabis is a superfood. Do you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. You know, the leaves, juicing the leaves. So this is very far along in America, and it's very far along in Canada. You know, I had guys for a couple of years who were juicing it, freezing it, and shipping it to me. And so it had frozen cannabis juice. It was hemp from industrial hemp, you know, where they're growing for seeds. And I'm drinking the juice from the leaves, which is so powerful. You drink one shot, that's it. So you take it out of the freezer. So I get like 9 bottles. Take one out of the freezer, put it in the fridge. In 24 hours, it thaws out. You open it up, you drink it. You go, you know, 1 shot, you're good. 4 hours later, you take another shot, you're good. Because it's like very aromatic. You can't just drink it. It's too strong. So you do it by shots, and you feel it. You feel what that. It's the most powerful juice there is.
So do you visit coffee shops when you come to Amsterdam?
Yeah, I do. I'm trying to think of my favorite ones. Abraxas is my favorite, probably. You know, just because it's right in the center, and it's kind of the old time thing. And I like I think it's in Kokopelli, where you get down to the waterfront right there on the back of the place. I like that spot just from old time memories, like 20 years ago coming here. That's another favorite spot. And where else? I mean, of course, I never come to Amsterdam without visiting my friend, the super seed geneticist, Soma. Right? You know, Soma's he's a classic. He's the best. And so I'll never come here without visiting him, because he's such a dear friend and such an amazing guy. And he's always teaching me. I'm teaching him about other plants. He's teaching me about this plant. Over the years, what's amazing to me is, and from my experience with Amazonian shamanism, really, I got into, you know, tobacco as a sacred plant, and growing it and just experimenting with what it is. And I have a green thumb for it, and it's really fun for me to grow it, actually. And so I always experiment with, like, okay, Soma, let me tell you about what's going on with tobacco. Now, interestingly, just as a little piece of information, because you guys waited so long and you've been here, this is analytical chemistry, molecular data from Maxim Analytics in Toronto, Canada. This is what they told me, and I have the data. Number 1 land plant in minerals is tobacco. Number 2 is cannabis, of every plant in the whole world. Number 1 in minerals is tobacco, and number 2 is cannabis, of any plant in the whole world. That's a scientific fact.
I've read in one of your articles that the tobacco plant is your favorite all time. Is it more of your favorite than the cacao?
Well, growing it, I grow them together, right? So I've got the cacao grown right with the tobaccos, because it's tropical farming, and that's part of tropical farming, because also the tobacco is your pesticide. So if you ever need a pesticide, you just spray everything with tobacco juice. And so that's kind of how we use it. There's also something else, just as a little side. I'm very much